Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra Semester 1 Practice Final. Alright, we've done 1 through 30. So it's time to start 31 through 40. Bum, 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 bum. I'll get there soon. Okay, so which of the following is the slope-intercept? Okay, so we have to do slope-intercept. Oh, that's a little tiny. Slope-intercept equation of a line that passes through 8, -7 and is perpendicular to a line of a slope of 4. So I need it perpendicular to that slope. Well, remember that perpendicular means opposite and reciprocal, okay? So if our current slope is 4, I need to take the opposite of that, so it's going to be negative, and the reciprocal. Well, it's not a fraction. Well, technically it is. It's 4 over 1. So my new slope would be -1/4. Okay? Now, if you look, A and B do not have a slope of -1/4, so I can already get rid of those. And what we do now is point slope. So I plug in -1/4, and then I'm using my point. The y goes with the y, and the x goes with the x. And then we solve. So we get y plus 7 equals -1/4 x, and then we have -1/4 times -8. A negative times a negative is a positive. 1/4 of 8 is 2. And then to get the y by itself, we subtract 7 to both sides, and we get that y equals -1/4 x minus 5, which is C. All right, Martino has a starting balance of $200 in his savings account. He withdraws $35 per week. For expenses, which equation represents the balance of Martino's account and Y in terms of weeks? So the key thing here is that he is spending, he is withdrawing. So that's going to be a -35x. So A has -35, B has -35, C has -35, but it's not with the x, and the same with D. Now, he has a starting balance of $200, which means he already has it. It's positive. So then we get our final answer of A. All right, 33. Rent-A-Tux charged Johnny a fee to rent a tuxedo for a day plus $35 for each additional day. Okay, so they have a flat fee, and then it's $35 each additional day. Okay, each is our keyword right there. He kept the tuxedo for 6 extra days and was charged $35. So it sounds to me like they gave us a slope and a point. Okay, so our slope, because it's got the word each next to it, is 35. And then our slope, they said, or our point, x equals days and y equals the cost. So that would mean our point is 6,385. Okay, now process of elimination. I know my slope is 35, so I can get rid of b and c. Okay, and from here, we just do point slope. Okay, our slope is 35, and then the y is 385, and the x is 6. So we have to go ahead and distribute first. So y minus 385 equals 35x. And then we have 35 times negative 6, which is negative 210 or minus 210. And then we have to add the 385 to the other side. And we get y equals 35x. And then I need to add 385. And we get 175, which is our answer, A. All right, flip it over. So Patrick has been tracking his progress in weightlifting for the last few weeks. After 5 weeks, he is able to lift 135 pounds. And then after 20 weeks, he's able to lift 240 pounds. Write an equation where x represents the number of weeks and y represents the total pounds. So x equals weeks and y equals pounds. And they gave us 2 points. They gave us the point 5, 135, and 20, 240. So when they give us 4 numbers, we have to figure out what is the slope, okay? So remember that the y's go on top, 240 minus 135, and the x's go on the bottom, 20 minus 5. 20 minus 5 is 15. I can do that real quick. But then we have 240 minus 135, and we get 105 for the top. And remember, we always want to reduce our slope, reduce our fraction. So 105 divided by 5, right? Was it 5? No, Mr. Grice, that was supposed to be 15. Because I was doing it too fast. So 105 divided by 15, it's 7. So I know that our slope is going to be 7. A is not 7, and B is not 7. So now what we're going to do is point slope. So I'm just going to pick the smaller numbers, and then I'm going to go through and solve. I know we've done this like 100 times, it seems like. 7 times 5 is 35. And then we need to add 135 to both sides. So we get y equals 7x and negative 35, forgot my 5 there, negative 35 plus 135 is 100. Okay, and that gives us our final answer of C. Right, 35. Solve the following inequality. We're starting to get into Unit 4. So remember, when we're solving inequalities, we treat them just like equations. We follow the same rules, but the key thing is if we multiply or divide by a negative, which I just did, I have to flip the sign, okay? So don't forget to flip, and I wrote it wrong the first time, Mr. Grice. Man, it is early today. So I did it again. So it was greater than to begin with, and when I flip it, it's less than. So our final answer is A. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, graph the solution of 3m plus 1 is less than or equal to negative 11. Okay, so all we're doing is SAD map, so I'm subtracting 1 to both sides. 3m is less than or equal to negative 12. And when I'm dividing right here, I am not dividing by a negative. I'm dividing a negative, but I'm not dividing by a negative. So we get m is less than or equal to negative 4. and we need to look at that, that's C. If I'm looking at just the inequality, I could have gotten rid of B and D because those are both greater than. Okay, so I'm just going to rewrite it over here to 4x plus 2 less than 28 plus 2x. Okay, so on the left side we have to distribute. We get 8x plus 4 is less than 28 plus 2x. I want to move the smaller variable. So we get 6x plus 4 is less than 28. And then I'm just solving. Subtracting 4 to both sides. 6x is less than 24. And then I divide both sides by 6. And we get x is less than 4. So x is less than 4. My only one that says that is D. All right, number 38. We've got the variable in the middle. So what we do is just treat it like an equation. We're going to solve it. But when I divide, I'm going to divide all 3 sides. Negative 3 divided by 3 is negative 1, is less than W, which is less than or equal to 2. When the W, or the variable, is in the middle, we shade the middle. So I can see that D is shaded wrong right away. And at negative 1, I'm going to be open, and at 2, I'm going to be closed. And the only one that has that right here, there's negative 1, and there's 2. So B is our answer. Okay, 39. Which of the following inequalities represents the solution? So right away, I'm going to do the same thing. And looking at my answers, I can already get rid of B because this is not an OR graph or an OR inequality. This is an AND. So I'm going to add 4 to all 3 sides. Negative 22 plus 4 is negative 18, which is less than or equal to 3y. 26 plus 4 is 30. And then I'm going to divide everything by 3. And we get negative 6 is less than or equal to y, which is less than 10, which is D. Okay, so see in 39 how I said it was and, but 40 there's an or. Just like that, I can get rid of D because that's not how it's set up. Okay, and I'm going to treat each one of these individually. Excuse me. Okay, so for the one on the left, I need to add 2 to both sides. And we get 5m is greater than 20. And then to get to m by itself, we get m is greater than 4. Now on the other inequality, I have to distribute the negatives, so that's negative 3m minus 12 is greater than 15. I have to add the 12 to both sides. I get negative 3m is greater than 27. And then I need to divide, and when I divide by a negative 3, that's right, I just divided by a negative, so I have to flip the sign. Now my final answer is always written in order from least to greatest, so I'm going to say m is less than negative 9, or m is greater than 4. And the only one that says that is A. Okay. Well, guys, that's it for 31 through 40. If you have any questions, please come see Ms. Carranza or myself. Otherwise, this is Mr. Grice signing off. Thanks for watching.